North Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village. Convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. It's another magnificent Monday. And as I stare through the screen and I look on the other side of the window, there's none other than the smiling face of Susan. Well, she's going to join me today as we're going to talk to you about Christmas. We're going to ask you all your favorites. You're going to be a part of our discussion. We're going to make Monday as if it was a holiday. We're going to make Monday as if it was a special double payday. You know, especially, when you're working and making the big bucks. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow,
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us. I look at my water bottle that was given to me with love, something that keeps you sort of hydrated, but equally reminding you that you should thirst for life. And on it says manna. And what is it we read in the scriptures? Even those of us that only go to church at Christmas, maybe New Year's watch night service, maybe Mother's Day and Easter. Well, manna from heaven. And I think that is where we are reminded, or we are blessed. I know it's difficult sometimes, we face much. Many people do not know the burdens which we carry, sometimes self-imposed, and other times we feel we have the weight of the world on our shoulders. But we are indeed strong, resilient, and we're poised to do great things together. Let's go to the phones, huh? Welcome, good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
Mr. Sterling, good afternoon. Season greetings to you, sir, and the whole staff of Radio Cayman, Susan, everybody there. Have successful, prosperous, more than anything is a wonderful, healthy, because the prosperity comes with the health.
Amen.
So,
and thank you
all
too.
The best to you.
And to you and yours as well. Thank you for those blessings. And as we say, we want everybody to be safe, but healthy, happy, and certainly feel blessed.
That is the most important thing. Mr. Sterling, you're talking about Christmas.
Yes, sir.
And to me now, in my age, Christmas, I get depressed.
Oh, okay.
From time I was small, they used to call me Mr. Grinch.
Serious? Why? I mean, you look pretty handsome. Grinch is not.
When we were growing up in Georgetown, Mary Street, if I got grapes, I couldn't get apples. If I got apples, I couldn't get grapes. And what we would do, I remember us gang of boys on Mary Street and mixed up with Shaden Road, we would keep our apples. Those days, it wasn't like these little apples you're getting now. Those days, we had the big, round, red juice apples. When you bite them, Sterling, the juice would come out of your mouth. We would take a piece of cloth, I remember, and hold them and shine them. Gee. And you know what? You want to fight? You want to fight? Touch my apple. That is how we were growing up in those days. And we couldn't get all too. I mean, the wealthier families now, their children got, they got grapes and apples. And sometimes we were lucky getting a case of pears from Tampa. But, it only marrying in Comart inside the little small shops. They like You know, the little small shop. Then Mr. Nixon, William Nixon, and Mr. Herbert Solomon, and then Mr. Arthur Stead.
Yeah, everybody's probably memories depending on the district. So each district had little shops that you went to, right? And 3 or 4 clustered in one little spot. Sometimes, if I think about West Bay, you know.
Yeah, if I remember the ploppers, we used to get them. I don't know if you remember them. You used to throw the little ploppers
on the ground. Yep.
Or you stand up on them, you put them on somebody's foot in, man.
We wouldn't do that.
Go off, man. Darling. But you know, I was telling Miss Susie a while ago, I see now the whole Cayman Islands is lit up with Christmas tree lights outside their house, and it was my mother, Lindora Borden Gillette, and that was probably in the 60s, I think, around 64, 67, around there. Everybody had gone off, all the rest of the children. It was just me and her at home. And she said she wasn't putting no Christmas tree lights, or wasn't putting up no Christmas tree in the house this year. She said it's only 2 of us. But we had a beautiful little round tree right out on the edge of the gate. One of those pine trees, the same Christmas tree ones, but we used to call, what they call them, the Australian pines is the real name, I think. They call them the weeping willow.
Weeping willow?
Yeah, the Christmas tree, like the Christmas tree that the old time Caymania would go up south sounding cut.
Yeah, did you use sisal as well?
Pardon?
Did you use the sisal tree as well, or just the weeping willow?
No, just the weeping willow tree.
Yeah, okay.
But they used to, after a while, after a couple of days in the house, Sterling, they used to have a beautiful scent.
Yeah,
smell good.
Yep.
I remember we used to have a 5-gallon bucket. We fill it with sand, and then we would put it in there.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And decorate it. But that year, Sterling, like I said, everybody had gone off, and my mother took 3 strings of lights and put out by the gate on that pine tree. It was round, and that she lit that up, and that was what we have for Christmas. But by New Year's, somebody from down the Republic, I understand, had somebody to enter. You remember Mr. Sterling, a friend of mine used to call him Brady. You remember Brady? He went to the U.S. and
I know someone that they used to call.
He was a Parsons.
Yeah.
Well, where his parents, just past the fire station. I think it was the first road or the second road past the fire station on the right. They had a home there, and they were the second people that copied and put up their trees, had their lights decorated outside. But that's where that started from, Sterling, in those days. And the greatest thing, like I said, it depended on the family, because some of my friends, they had apples, they had grapes, they had fire rockets, skyrocket, and they were good days. I remember when the bands used to, the men, they stayed all night on New Year's, and
the marchers,
maracas, they had graders, and you'd give them money. You had to give them money, you know.
But let me ask, if I might, right? People listening to us today, and I say this, even younger generation of Caymanians, those who've been there for decades, even when we talk about, as you recall, the 50s and the 60s, and even sometimes, later than that, for some people hearing that, it may be difficult for them to look at Cayman today with all the technology, the infrastructure, the seeming display of opulence and the like, and find it hard to believe that not that long ago, some of us, our older siblings, or our parents, that they can recall, not having electricity or not having a whole lot in terms of material things, but they had a whole lot of love. I mean, 50, 60, 70 years ago, may seem like a long time, but in the memories of some, that was yesterday.
Sterling, you took the love part out of my mouth, because I was going to relate to you. In those days, many things we didn't have. I remember my mother, we used to have a kerosene refrigerator.
Huh.
1 gallon kerosene oil refrigerator. And we couldn't have that burning all the time neither.
No.
Maybe on a Saturday evening we put it on till Sunday and we cut it off. But Sterling, in Christmas time in Cayman, in the 50s and 60s, the mid-70s, it started to make a little change. But the 50s and the 60s, Sterling, we had love.
Yeah, man.
Love. I mean, your biggest enemy, you go on and look for them.
So,
You understand? And
exactly.
we share. Sterling, in Cayman, we shared.
Yeah.
We didn't have money, but we shared everything we had.
Right. Let me ask you, right? And I only do this because I just had a conversation, and this is a young lady. To me, knowing who she is, her ambition, her parents, her grandparents, this is somebody that we would know, her siblings. We would know her parents if we were that age. We certainly would know her grandparents. And to me, she embodies that spirit of that strong Caymanian work ethic. So a very, very young lady. And as she's talking, there are a couple of others, I call her contemporaries with her. And they were saying a couple of things that sort of resonates with me based on what you're now sharing. To bring back that sense of community, that love. And I confess, I stand by this. I think it's important. I was introduced to it in the early 90s. A family member was seconded to Germany. They saw it. I see the studies in other places. Two things. The Christmas, right? We read, Twelfth Night from Shakespeare. We see celebrations across many jurisdictions. And as you said, the worst of enemies seem to have some civility. If wars are going on, maybe there's a ceasefire during Christmas or other holidays. So from the Christmas Eve until the 2nd or 3rd of January, in my mind, and you guide me if I'm wrong, there seems to be almost like an official national go-slow where people are celebrating responsibly. They're enjoying their festivities. Work is only essential. Hospitals are there and everybody's enjoying themselves. What if we had that sort of, a national holiday of celebration, that week to 2 weeks of Christmas and enjoying it? Or have we become so commercialized now and we no longer have any love and everybody is measured by, what they have? They compensate for the big Christmas tree for the little that they have simply because they lack integrity and things. I mean, what do you think of that?
Mr. Sterling, you're taking everything out of my mouth because everything you're saying is 100% what I wanted to say.
Well, I appreciate it.
From the ending of October, in my time, the seaman is coming back home. The house is being painted, and everybody, that's a joy in itself. That's happiness in itself.
Yeah.
Your neighbor coming over and helping you and.
Yeah, me and Miss Susan were talking, not to cut you right earlier, like just trying to remember not just the traditions and the behaviors, right? I enjoyed, honestly, back in the sand, raking it. I particularly love the sand gravel, all right? The beach gravel. I don't know if it because it was novel or if you were doing something. For me, I would like to think that the whole family, we were doing it. When my dad came back, we were doing it with him, but until he was back, we were doing it in preparation, the expectation, that celebration, that sort of family interaction. We're losing that. I mean, we have a lot more home or house in terms of the size and the square footage, but a whole lot less home.
Yeah. Even Sterling, the enjoyment in the old days when we used to have the leaking house top. I remember Christmas time, sometime them days it used to rain Christmas. And we sleep in and we got shift the pot in the night when it rained from the rain dripping and that. But Sterling, that was fun too.
Yeah. Well, I must. I kind of got that era where I was in that. Be careful, I said these days transition, but I didn't have that. My sisters, could tell me, but I didn't. But you're right. Just as a quick thing, I appreciate our callers sharing. We referenced Mr. Bradley as Parsons, but his tennis was Parchment.
Okay. Yeah.
I knew it wasn't Eubanks. Oh, I just kidding. It probably was though.
But let me leave you with this before I go.
Yes, sir.
So gonna get a joke out of this. This one. One time, because I started playing music very early, I think about probably 13. You know. And one time I went up to the BRAC. I remember Adley Martin, Stacey Tibbetts, Eddie Scott, myself, and I can't remember who the drummer was. But I went up there. Eddie himself, you know, Bowman Scott's dad, invited me up, and I played with him a little while. We were good friends. But this was the joint we were talking about, sand. Now, you know, the Bracas were more into the sand business even than the people from the Republic of West Bay.
Well, you know, I heard Crippin Douglas had termed it right, and maybe that. Anyway, go ahead.
Wait, Mr. Sterling. So now, I don't know no different because, I mean, I got family in the BRAC too, my aunts and things. So I'm going up there now, and it's Christmas. I think it was like the day before Christmas Eve, and I going up there now. I turn in now, and I going out to walk in the yard, and she come up by the gate. She say, No.
A sand yard, boy.
I'm fixing this for Christmas. You can't walk in this.
No, sir.
And now she got a conch shell line off. I mean, beautiful, you know. In those days, Mr. Stern, we didn't even have cameras that could take those pictures. But Cayman Christmas now can never compare to the old time, you know?
Yeah,
the old time tradition.
You're right.
It's good to remember this, but those people up in the BRAC, they were serious with, don't walk in there, there's a yard. They were whiter than white paint.
I guess it's different than that song, Don't Back on Me Now. But anyway.
Okay,
blessings to you, sir.
Good holiday, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You know what? And we want you to share your thoughts with us. You know, not everything that you remember may be positive, pleasant, and pleasing, but share with us. We will endeavor to listen and to act with a sense of respect. But if we can engage and be festive, and listen, you know, sometimes the things we say are for others to hear, but it's for us to be reminded as we lift the spirits of each other. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Jingle bell, pick up your feet. Christmas shopping at Le Classic cannot be beat. Quality style, luggage and leather, shoes that make you feel like you're walking on feathers. So step on in before stepping out. Come see what your friends are all talking about. We're here at the Strand, it's the season of cheer. Christmas time is here.
Merry Christmas from Le Classique. Come see us in the Strand, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
At Subway, we caramel a lot about our customers, so we decided to give you 2 treats in one with the new Caramel Apple Cookie. Enjoy cinnamon apples, caramel bits, and salted caramel crunch baked in, and topped with a drizzle of caramel-flavored icing. Gooey, crunchy, and yummy. Complete your Subway sandwich, pizza, or salad with the delicious Caramel Apple Cookie or any other cookie flavor and dessert available for limited time at all Subway locations. Subway, eat fresh.
CG Britke would like to wish our clients, their families, our staff, and our communities a happy holiday. In this time of celebration, let us remember what this past year has taught us. That we can be in different rooms, different homes, or on different islands, yet never feel apart. Because we are here for each other and stronger together. We look forward to the new year, to serving your insurance needs, and to always putting people first. Happy holidays from our CG Britke family to yours.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Increase your chances to win during the Rubus Pure Joy promotion. Don't miss Double Stamp Tuesdays and Thursdays at Jose's Rubus. Reflections offers you gas for less, and each time you fill up at Jose's Rubus, you're entered to win weekly prize giveaways, plus a grand prize of $20,000 in cash or up to $30,000 to pay next year's bills. Ensure that you are healthy and fit before you visit with family and friends. Reflections offers 2 lateral flow test kits for only $10. The best KN95 masks, $5 for 2. Stylish black surgical masks are only $5 for a pack of 10. Purchase Reflections gift certificates for your loved ones and enter to win the Rubus Pure Joy promotion at Jose's Rubus.
During this time of celebrations, this time of giving, this time of joy, there is this special gift more valued than frankincense and myrrh. This gift, your gift, will save lives during this holiday season. Your pint, your gift of blood can save 3 lives. To give your gift, to be a lifesaver this holiday season, call the National Blood Bank and make your appointment. Call 244-2674 or 244-2699 because when blood is needed, nothing else will do. A message from Rotary Central Community Service and the Cayman Blood Donor Service. Have a wonderful and safe holiday season.
Cayman Brac residents are advised to get their bulk waste ready for collection from December 16th to 22nd. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside where it is easily accessible to DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains or place tires, construction and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the Cayman Brac bulk waste collection schedule from December 16th to the 22nd, please contact DEH Cayman Brac at 948-2321.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Monday. You may say, ooh, just Monday. Well, I'm hoping and praying that you look in with great joy and jubilation to not just Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and the festivities, the fellowship that you and the family would all enjoy, over the holiday season. It'll be safe, it'll be blessed, it'll be healthy. I do know, and I understand this clearly and hopefully. I say it with the greatest of respect. For some of us, we're going to try hard because we feel that's what those who've gone on would want from us. But it's not always easy. But we do it for them, we do it for others, for what it's worth. Let's see if we can do it for ourselves too, to find that joy within, because let's live life now. The hereafter will be an eternity. 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. You can WhatsApp 925-3261. And I know you're probably disappointed if you call and you don't find Miss Susan answering the phone, but she is today, right? And you can easily tell that smile on her face, boy. You said, that camera back smile, yeah, Bobo. That is what it is. So, you have a favorite Christmas memory? You have something that you wish you could have. You're praying for, you're yearning for. It might be a new love. It may be a new lease on life. It may be something that you lost and you hope that you would once again find. Whether it's a person that you want to be reunited with, whether it's something or, you just wish that you could find where you misplaced it. As we go to our phones. Welcome, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Rambo.
Hey, Rambo. Merry Christmas to you, man.
Merry Christmas to you, and everybody come out.
Thank you, man. Same team.
Something Mike about this afternoon for differently, right?
Uh-huh.
With the corona, the plague, right? Whoever caused this, and speak itself. Don't come in public and family, the rest of us.
Uh-huh.
And the government or the opposition, whenever you go to parliament, they better consider the herbs. Simple. That's how I take it.
Yeah, man.
But I don't call about no different. And like I say again, for better or worse, 2022. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the more time, more. Take it easy.
More time, man. Take it easy, no? What's that song? Take it easy. Easy, skank. Listen, I'm glad that it says make a joyful noise, because the noise it is certainly joy indeed. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. If you would, I'll ask of you. I know this week is extremely busy. Many of us, whether we're following the traditions of yesteryear and trying to get the house painted, probably can't get in the sandbank. You probably can't get to the beach, even if you wanted to. And if you go, you probably encounter people who say, "What are you doing stealing our sand?" You say, "No, I get my 5 buckets, Bobo." But you might even have time, even if you wanted to do it. There is, someone that I know, probably not because of any reason other than that desire to hold on to that long lost tradition, as that loved one is still with us. He diligently goes, even in his, he wouldn't want me to say he's advanced in years, but as his brother reminds him, be thankful, that you get to see another day. And when you 50, 60, 70, 80, you're living and you're loving, you're laughing and you're enjoying. And as he, I know will take a couple of the 5-gallon buckets and try to get a couple of, buckets of sand just to keep that elderly family member, reminded of the youth of the traditions. And it's a practice that, unfortunately for many of us, don't understand how important that is, because as the caller earlier shared, a smell of apples. For some, that is Christmas. Now you're probably concerned of the toxins in even the organic fruits and vegetables that we buy, assuming we can get them. There are many who are concerned, and you might say justifiably so. You might say, "Oh, they're just exaggerating." But if you talk to the people, whether it's the politician or some other public pundit who talk about the supply chain, they're not just using words that may sound like some euphemism, or they're just trying to be talking heads. These are probably realities that are creating much, great fear in so many people. And we want you to be mindful of that, and as you share with us. But if I could, as a personal appeal, we have, we joke and say, 10,000 different nationalities on shore. What are some of your traditions? If you have time, I know you're busy, you're probably wrapping up, getting, all the end of year things done, whatever the Christmas things that you have to do. But no matter where you're from, if you're here and you have a second, what are the things that you used to do, the traditions, whether you are from parts of the Caribbean or you're in other parts of the world and this is where you are now? Share with us. What are your traditions? What are the things that you are now missing the most? For some of us, we don't celebrate Christmas for different reasons. I'm not going to fault you, and I hope that me saying that doesn't offend people who say, "Well, what do you mean you don't celebrate Christmas?" There are people who used to, but they're no longer because they don't find the joy in it because of, the unfortunate memories that are associated with it. For others, they just don't because it's not who they are. For some, they celebrate the festivities, but not just, what for others is the reason. But what are your, Christmas traditions? And what would you do that you would have normally done if you were where you were from originally? Love to learn. Certainly will share with you. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. What I find fascinating is that as you talk to different people, you find that what they do and what you do, the foods that they use and the foods that we use, are very similar. We are more alike than we are different. Even the tallest and the shortest, foot or two might separate them, but boy, they're a lot alike. Let's go to the phones, huh? Welcome, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you, man?
I'm alright.
Good, man. Well, I hope you're getting the Fidel's finest at some point, huh?
Dwayne, we have to talk about this public bus transport system again.
Yes, sir. Let me hear you, man.
Yesterday, I went to the public, where is the public library, where is the bus depot. And the inspector woman, she is sleeping and snoring inside this little room they put for the inspector to watch these buses. She is sleeping and snoring. So I said, hello. She's not responding. And this is not the first time I see this woman sleeping at the job. One Saturday, she is in the car by the parking lot of Flow, where is opposite Funky Tank, and the same thing, she's sleeping in the car and leaving those public buses driver continue with their bad behavior. And this public bus transport system is not working for Cayman anymore. I think the Minister, Kenneth Bryan, I hear he said that they are looking to bring buses, government take over this public bus system, and I encourage the Minister, Mr. Bryan, to do the right thing. And, we see in the time of the previous government, that we have buses, the free shuttle buses. But we need to see this government, run the public buses like in Jamaica, for example. They have government public buses, and the government is benefiting from those buses. They have official drivers, they have official time leaving and going, and those drivers is not working. It's not going to work anymore, Dwayne, if the system stay the same.
But I mean, if we're going to overhaul the bus system, why don't we overhaul the political system, the bureaucracy that is within the core government? We look at the private sector and see some of the, the banking practices. I mean, if we're going to, transform the society, let's go all out, man. Let's make it better.
Dwayne, the behavior of those bus drivers is, if you complain, like me, I complain about them in the public radio, and I'm not complaining about all the drivers.
No.
Some of the drivers' behavior is unacceptable. One of them is try attack me physically in the that day when I told you I went to complain to the inspector. I find her, she's sleeping.
Okay, so let me ask you, and I don't want to offend you, but let me just ask a question. Do you think it's that particular driver or other drivers, they themselves, and somewhat, we don't behave well, or is it you? Your countenance, your disposition? Because some of us as individuals, even the customers, we don't behave well as well. So what do you think? Is it both of you? Is it one of you that may be antagonizing the other? I mean, where's that love?
If a bus driver leave Georgetown, he should reach East End, go through North Side, Frank Sound, go to Queens Highway, go East End. This bus driver, from 1 year, there is cameras in the road. I challenge if this bus driver named Raymond, 1 year, from 1 year, if he reach East End from 1 year, I want the public bus transport system check the cameras all over East End. If this bus driver from 1 year reach East End, I challenge you anything. And the behavior of those drivers, there is one always playing this hateful church. The one day I was in the bus, and this hateful racism about Muslims, and he playing that in purpose. Every time I go in his bus, he playing that because he know I am Muslim.
Okay, so let me ask you, right, and not to give good to bad or bad to good, but do you have a choice and use another operator?
Dwayne, if the majority of those bus drivers not doing the route where they should go, the inspectors, they are sleeping, they are snoring, they are sleeping, they are not doing their job, and the director of public transport is lazy. He don't want them out.
But I know you have, and I don't want to be dismissive of you, but sometimes the problem don't just lie in one quarter, and everybody's accountable to somebody. If nothing else, we're accountable for ourselves and our actions, right? Not to belabor too much and not to displace you, but leave it there for now. Let's take this break and see what shakes in this almond tree. Maybe we'll find a coconut instead of a pea. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Savannah Pharmacy. Shop local and get a head start on your Christmas shopping. For ladies' handbags, clothes, shoes, fragrance, candles, and cosmetics with the newest Farmhouse Fresh line of skincare. For the gentlemen, clothes, shoes, fragrances, gift sets, and toys and games for the kids. Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs. And convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
Cash is a must this Christmas. J&M Money Cash Most Christmas. Send or receive funds with the J&M Money this holiday season to win big. J&M Money Cash Most Christmas.
Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Here we are, gifted with presents, standing in a space denied many. In gratitude to the gift that Christmas is, this very, very special time of year, this time of reflection, celebration, fellowship, mindful of our blessings, mindful of the empty chairs, the precious spaces, the giving of gifts, sharing from steaming pots, making a difference to the many around us in need. Understanding this specialness, these Cayman Islands feel cool breeze, massaging silver thatched leaves, shimmering in moonlit night, December Cayman. Food, fellowship, worship, in awe of sunsets, the beach, the children. Rotary Club Central, where community service is our ethos. We serve to change lives. Wishing you a delightful, safe, and magical holiday season.
Hi, this is Robert from Robert Wood Furniture and Interiors. As we approach the end of another year, we would like to thank all of you for the patronage and trust you have offered and placed in us this past year. These are tough times, but we will, by the will of God, see them through. And we pray for God's blessings as we face the coming year. We wish you all the happiness and joys of the season. And from all of us, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Robert, Jeannie, Betty, Cindy, Merdlin, Jr., and all of our faithful subcontractors. Be safe. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Attention! A new online application form has been launched for clients of the Needs Assessment Unit to apply for financial assistance. The form is available at the NAU website, www.nau.gov.ky. From that page, click on Apply in the top right-hand corner. The secure online form is designed to be easy and convenient for clients to use. It can be accessed from a variety of internet-enabled devices, including mobile phones and tablets. Once again, www.nau.gov.ky. A unique application code will enable users to save the form and complete it at a later time. The Needs Assessment Unit is available by phone at 946-0024. Again, the number is 946-0024 to answer any questions. The online application form is offered in addition to other application methods. The NAU will continue to host district visits. Paper application forms are available at its office in Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac. The NAU can be reached by calling 946-0024 and its email address is nauinfo@gov.ky.
Shop at Funky Tanks, the home of electronics and more. Make sure to check out Funky Tanks' 2 locations, Shedden Road and Countryside, Savannah, for loads of fireworks for your Christmas and New Year's celebrations. Also, new stock has just arrived. Funky Tanks, both locations, open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., December 20th to December 23rd. And on Christmas Eve, open 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., December 29th and 30th. New Year's Eve, open 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Funky Tanks. For more information, call 949-0998. Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year from the management and staff of Funky Tanks.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Open Line as we invite you to call as we go straight to the phones. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you? Do you have to go to the news now?
Miss Susan says in 4. Oh, she said 4 and then she said 2. Now, you know what? We go to the news tomorrow. Whatever she tells me.
Okay. Good afternoon and good a blessed Christmas to you and your family.
Amen to you.
And to the Radio Cayman family, the best radio station that we ever have in Cayman, will ever have in Cayman. And I'm afraid to say that because they keep us up to date with everyone and up to date of the news and what's going on in this world, which sometimes I don't like to hear because it is so sad, but it's a reality. So, you know, what that last caller was saying, I must say some of the bus drivers is ridiculous. Some of them, and he is right. I gave a lift to a lady the other day. I knew the lady, and I was dropping her off because she had to go all the way to Bordentown by the Flow Mean office, other side of Funky Tanks, by the bus. You could say bus depot right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard all of this nice doing. It was red. It was cursing. It was all the bus drivers rowing. Who gets who got to do what? Who gets the most money? And it was ridiculous.
You are listening.
And she say, "Ma'am, I going into Funky Tanks and wait for another bus, but I can't go in this one." So that's what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
It need to be straightened out soon. Some time ago, remember when I think it was Charles Clifford, when he was a minister for tourism, he tried to get uniforms and stuff. Of course, they still wear these blue shirts and sometimes dark pants, but you look down at their feet is a different story. A pair of old broken up shoes, a pair of old broken up sandals. Their feet is usually dirty. It needs to be straightened out if we're going to keep dealing with tourists. It needs to be straightened out. That's not the only thing, but it needs to be straightened out. I have a lot more to say, but you might want to go, and I want to remind Mr. George he must not forget the juniper tree that we also used to use as a Christmas tree. The juniper tree usually grew on the iron shore along with the willow tree, now named Casuarina. I didn't know anything about a Casuarina. It's a big willow tree. So, but I have more to say, but I can let you go because you might need to get to the news. And like I said, have a blessed day. I may call in a little later or call tomorrow, God's willing.
God's willing. Well, thank you too. And every day, pray blessed, but even now and more so. Thank you very much, Mom. All right, well, Ms. Susan will remind me about the Juniper Tree. So as we pause and go to the news, who's going to call us after? I'll take a bet. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Economics and Statistics Office says inflation grew by 6.4% in the third quarter of 2021 compared to the same period in 2020. All 12 consumer price index divisions recorded an increase in average prices. The division Housing and Utilities recorded the largest average price increase of more than 10%. More information from the Cayman Islands Consumer Price Index report, July to September 2021, is available at eso.ky. In international headlines, the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell speeded to a finish today with a prosecutor labeling her as a dangerous and sophisticated predator who recruited and groomed teenage girls to be sexually abused by financier Jeffrey Epstein, while a defense attorney told jurors during closing arguments that Maxwell is, quote, an innocent woman. Assistant U.S. Attorney Allison Moe said Epstein could not have preyed on teenage girls for more than a decade without the help of the British socialite, who she described as the lady of the house, as Epstein abused girls at a New York mansion, a Florida estate, and a New Mexico ranch. Captive missionaries in Haiti found freedom last week by making a daring overnight escape, eluding their kidnappers, and walking for miles over difficult, moonlit terrain with an infant and other children in tow. That, according to the agency they work for, officials said today. The Christian Aid Ministries out of Ohio said their group of 12 missionaries navigated by stars to reach safety after a 2-month kidnapping ordeal. The detailed account of their journey to safety comes after news Thursday that the missionaries were free. They were abducted October 16th by the 400 Mawozo gang. Those are your headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. When I say us, it's not just me, myself, and I. But sometimes, say we are two or more gathered, there I am. So maybe it's me, myself, and I. Well, maybe one of them would be the Holy Spirit. I don't know about you, but sometimes we need to be filled with the Spirit. And it's Christmas time. Hopefully it's just more than what we pour from the glass, huh? 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Or WhatsApp 925-3261. Yeah, live, love, and laugh. And sometimes we don't laugh enough. Maybe that's why we don't love. And if we don't love, we probably won't live. It's not because we don't learn. The question, though, is how much negativity is it in our lives? And how much of that is it that we're bringing to the lives of others? The hate you give, it says the hate you get. What about the love? If you live a little bit, love a lot, we laugh, endlessly. It kind of reminds me of growing up. Your mama would send you to the shop and you bought things on trust. It wasn't on credit. Trust me this. I remember going to Mr. Lee Smith's and you take the note and you bought on trust. Yeah, boy, a good name is better than money in the bank. Let's go to the phones. Hey, welcome, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Wow, how are you?
I am better than I deserve to be.
Listen, in deference to any and everybody else, I don't believe there's no other voice that can light up a room like you. How's it going?
You know what? Neither can anyone better than yours. You're a flatterer.
Listen. If you say it in love and in sincerity, people will see.
Then it's not flattering.
There you go.
Okay. Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just out by the post office and I had the radio on, and I heard you saying, talking about Christmas, the traditions, wherever you are or where you came from. And I was so happy to hear you say that. Because I'm going to tell you a short story that really pleased me. The other day, my granddaughter had an assignment to do, and believe it or not, it was about John Canoe. Of course, she'd never heard of this.
Right.
So I encouraged her, to read upon it, and she is a reader, I must say, thank God. Anyway, so she was so surprised to learn about John Canoe and the history of John Canoe. And while we're on that, I want to say that Cayman is the only Caribbean island I know that does not celebrate John Canoe. In this time of the year, maybe it's even past already, all of those other islands, they celebrate John Canoe in December. I think the Bahamas does it twice a year. It's either May and December or June and December. That's how much it's in their culture. And for those who don't know the history of John Canoe, this would be a good time for them to read up on it. Instead, I keep saying, instead of Caymanians jumping on everybody else's bandwagon, know your history. Celebrate that, Teach it to your children and to your grands. So I will tell you what my Christmas tradition is, because I'm not Scrooge, but no, I give, but I don't make a big hula about it, I wake up, I give thanks, and that's enough for me.
Thank you, because it's that spirit of gratitude, graciousness, just giving thanks. So important.
Yeah. Like I said, I was never, because I heard you saying this earlier, because of, experiences, bad experiences, bad memories and stuff. That's why I was never in the Christmas spirit. Put on a good face for a long time. And then, personally, me, physically, I had a bad experience one Christmas morning. So after that, every Christmas Day, every 25th of December, if I open my eyes, the first thing I do, I walk outside, I take a deep breath, and I give thanks for life. And I give thanks that I'm not lying in a hospital emergency room, not knowing if that's the end. So,
as I listen to you, I think that too many times, and as parents or as the adults know, we're probably primarily, I wouldn't say partially, for blame as to why we call it, but the younger generation, they're ungrateful and they're this, but it's because of the examples that we do. We probably really mean well, getting that latest gadget, getting the best gift, even if it's not deliberately the most expensive, as opposed to the things that matter,
Yeah.
And I say this not hopefully make anybody feel offended, but I remember one year, I'm an adult, well, at least according to the age of my birth certificate,
the age.
And I wanted what I was told was the traditional Christmas tree. Not, for me that was the artificial Christmas tree, right? That's what I grew up in most, right? I went up Barkas. I found what I thought was, and I said Barkas, not Barkers, and I put no accent. It's Barkas. It needs to be changed on the map to reflect what it is like Bottomanu, right? And I cut carefully, one of the willow trees. Got a nice bucket of sand, cleaned it, made sure it was perfect.
With the rocks.
Yep, got the rocks. And I was so careful to bring that thing home, put it in my place. And one of my sisters, that silverish kind of wrapping paper, tinfoil looking something, and I put around the old 5-gallon paint bucket, made it look good. And I thought this was the absolutely most beautiful thing. Now, ornaments couldn't adorn it because it was a big middle tree, it would fall over, right? But I did the best I could. And then family and close friends were so excited. And somebody that I thought would be appreciative, one of my own, so to speak, in terms of generational, looked at that and said, boy, you cheap. Man, like your money, you can't buy something better than that. And I said, you know what? I had a piece of cassava cake that my mom has shared the same with you. But guess what? You're not getting a piece.
Exactly. But you make a perfect point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Caymanians have shunned away from what is Caymanian, and they're just accepting everything that's being thrown at us.
Yep.
You know? And that is sad. That is so sad. And on the point of buying gifts, I'll tell you this, and my daughter can attest to this. I make it very clear. When I'm buying gifts for my grandchildren, I am not buying any of these electronic gadgets. So when I say, what would they like, she knows she can't go there with me.
Well, you know, the thing is, right?
And it's not about being able to afford it or not afford it, because I'm trying to teach them.
Exactly.
Her generation lost out on. And what is most unfortunate about it is that they're doubting us, because it's not being taught to them in school, or, you know, or these field trips or whatever it is they go on. It's not being taught, so they doubt us.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You see, we don't seem to understand that indirectly sometimes, right? And unconsciously, what we're teaching them, you know, what it is that they're getting from us, even if we, you know, don't mean to. And I know, trust me, I know full well parents, and I speak from the father's perspective, when the paycheck isn't enough to pay the bills. And, you know, like I said, one of the most depressing and difficult songs to hear is, you know, if I can make it through December, all right. But I listen to that specifically because it reminds us that, you know, people have it hard, and what's important.
Yeah.
You know, so I went a couple of years ago. Maybe it's different now. Looking for marbles, looking for things that I treasured as a child. Comart was closed. You know, you went to those fancy stores and they looked at you because you had an accent. At least, you know, they thought you had an accent. I live in Cayman, so I don't have an accent. As if you were poor, you know. People don't have no heart, no humility, no love. And they come from nowhere where it's apartheid ridden, and we foolishly, you know, adopt it.
Well, I can tell you, I teach this to my grandchildren. I say to them, the richest thing that Nana can leave for you is the values. You know, and I've tried to, and I must say they're very receptive to it, because I've passed down to them, you know, about board games, loot and stuff like that. You know, playing cards. And I told them, I said, this is what we did before TV and all these things. We got together. I said, we ate together. You know, they have to say their grace before they eat their food and stuff. And even one of my granddaughters, especially, she tells the other two, she said, listen, there are different rules at Nana's house. Yeah. So, you know, like the younger one, she say, but we don't have to do that at home. And she said, listen, there are different rules at Nana's house. So when we're here, we have to do what Nana says.
Yeah, man. But I think that's the unfortunate part, that we allow our differences to divide us than for the love to unify us, right? We are more alike, yet we don't see that. And it's interesting. I'd say it publicly sometimes, deliberately, hopefully it'll gain traction, right? People need to recognize that there are some people who live in certain places that they themselves are ashamed of what happens there, and when they come here and they see it, you know, they're so grateful. But yet, for whatever reason, you know, we don't see we seem to take for granted the safety, the security, the civility that is here. I find it egregious that we're going to spend a lot of money training people and call them the regiment or whatever to go about. Now with finally getting a water purification system. If you got train people for disaster, train for disaster. You don't need to train them to be soldiers. You got train them for diplomacy. You know, it would be better. You know, dialogue to me is better than discord. You know, stop playing games and treating people for fool.
Exactly.
Well, that's just me.
But I'm glad that you brought that up, because hopefully it'll encourage other people to call. I mean, shopping and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll also share this with you. I was having a conversation over the weekend with a family member. I said, you know, if I know a family or even an individual, single parent home, you know, it doesn't matter. And as long as they're doing what is the right thing, and I say that meaning, know that when they get the little paycheck, they make sure the utilities and stuff are paid. Rather than taking their money that they should be paying their utilities with and going out shopping for stuff they cannot afford.
Yeah, man.
If I knew a family that was in that situation, I would be more than happy to say, listen, that's okay. I'll pay for your turkey. I'll pay for your ham. So you have a little gift for each child. As long as they're doing the right thing. But if they are not going to do the right thing and they're going to, like I say, spend what they don't have, buying what is unnecessary, they can't come to me afterwards when January roll in. Can you help me with $100 to pay my light bill?
Yeah.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah, man. Well, sorry, I agree with you. And something that you said reminds me of what I think we find in many of us. We do it quietly. We may not have a whole lot, but we give lovingly.
I will give my last.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter to me that it's my last, because I can tell you what I have learned and experienced from that. I will give you my last. I don't even think about it. But before the day ends or the week for sure ends, somebody is coming back and they can give me tenfold.
Amen. Well, you are blessed, and I want you to know that you are a blessing to us.
More than blessed.
Amen. Talk to you soon, all right?
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
And to Susan and all of the staff at Radio Cayman.
Yeah, man, you should see her smile that she got on her face, man. I tell you, man.
Merry Christmas, Susan, and keep posting in that nostalgic page. We enjoy it.
Take care, man. Talk to you soon.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, we got to take that break, Miss Susan. Well, listen, let me ask you. Well, I mean, you can tell me anything, and I certainly will take it on board in the best way, because I believe I can only learn if I listen. So, here's a little teaser for you. What do you call a grumpy reindeer? Now, you may say it's, oh, geez, this is corny, but hey, I wouldn't know unless you tell me, right? So what do you call a grumpy reindeer? Come on, next call after the break to tell me that. I want to know. What do you call a grumpy reindeer?
In the early 1900s, the sister islands enjoyed a relative prosperity, with the cultivation and subsequent exports of coconut being the primary industry, as Commissioner Sanguinetti would note during his 1902 visit.
Business seemed brisk. There has been a very large coconut crop, such as not born for years, and the carrying capacity of the island vessels to deal with the export of nuts have been shipped between October and February last.
The coconut industry would continue to expand with the expansion of plantations into large tracts of unused land.
Information from this historical vignette was sourced from Founded Upon the Seas, A History of the Cayman Islands and Their People by Michael Creighton and the New History Committee.
We may be in Christmas shopping mode, but 'tis the flu season too. Savannah Pharmacy has immune system boosters for the entire family, with a range of vitamins and supplements. Their knowledgeable and courteous pharmacists are always available to offer the best advice and products. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of March, 2022. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you. Are you planning a social, an office party, or event over the holiday season? Make the most of your holiday party and leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go, with the option of a 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. Cater your holiday parties with Subway. Visit subway.ky for menu options. Subway, eat fresh. At Tomlinson Furniture, we have great holiday deals to fill each room with presents for just $50 or less. Improve sleep, breathe easier, and relax your mind and body with an assortment of essential oils and pair with the perfect diffuser. Tap into your zen with meditation gold foil candles. Find standalone or pluggable fragrance warmers, wax melts in a range of scents, and reusable wax warmer liners, or opt for a wax melt gift set. Instantly freshen up any space with room and linen sprays. Find these great aromatic gift ideas for just $50 or less at Tomlinson Furniture. Happy holidays and a prosperous New Year to all, from the Tomlinson Furniture family to yours.
You can now register online to receive a securely verified digital copy of your COVID-19 vaccination status with QR code through the MyHSA patient portal. Sign up is available online and at all HSA locations. All you need is your photo ID showing date of birth and an email address. Visit hsa.ky and click the My HSA patient portal icon to get started.
This year, more than ever, Marant would like to simply but sincerely say thank you and best wishes for the holiday season.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. So, actually, in an attempt at maybe inserting a bit of humor into the day. I know you're out and about. Many of us are rushing. My mom would say, running from pillar to post. I know you're trying to get things done, whether you're on a construction site, whether you're in the office, whether it's because you plan to travel, whether you're just waiting for your Christmas beef and you got to get things in order because you want it to be perfect. You're busy. Well, if you got a second, share with us a couple of things, anything funny you want to share, and a gripe that you have that you want to relay. But if possible, let's keep it positive. Share with us. I'm honored, to always learn from other people, their experiences, their expectations, and sometimes, maybe their traditions. So many people are here from many places. Share with us, what is it that you miss most if you were back home? Maybe you as a child growing up in Sri Lanka, Singapore, or maybe, you in Sport Bay. It doesn't really matter, share with us. So I asked, in an attempt at some semblance of, humor, what do you call a grumpy, reindeer? And Susan, she, was polling the audience. So she thinks she has the answer. I want to see if I can get her to talk on here. You notice of all of our DJs, the only person that probably talks less than her, Joel Wilson. 949-8037. 1-800-534-8255. You want to take a stab at it and tell me what you think? What do you call a grumpy reindeer? 949-8037. 1-800-534-8255. And it's interesting. Susan counted down, from a million. 999,000, 999, 999,998. Okay. So you just think about it, and see what you think. And let us know. But Susan, they can't hear you when you whisper in my ear, I hope I never wake up in the middle of the night with your name on my lips, because that would not be good. So what do you think? Come on, talk to me. What do you think the answer is, Miss Susan?
Going back to your last comment.
I called your name so much during the day that I said, I hope I never...
No, I don't think so. Good afternoon, Sterling. How are you?
That would be understandable, though. Because I'm pretty sure I've said, in my sleep, 1-800-534. Call now.
Yeah, you probably did the number, yeah. We all do. 1-800-5.
Yeah, there you go. Well, come here, 976 number,
Yeah. I think you need to give them a hint.
A hint?
Yes.
A grumpy reindeer?
I guess they would have to know the reindeer names.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But somebody says Paula Carlin. I say, no, that's not what it is. It's not true. So what would you call a grumpy reindeer?
I know the answer, but I won't give it out.
You won't give it out?
I'll let the listeners call.
Right, there's no prize for it, so maybe we need to incentivize. Okay, so the person that calls, this is the prize. They get a reward of knowing they were right. Or wrong.
Maybe the most famous reindeer. That's the hint.
The most famous reindeer. Oh, let me see now.
The hint is in the or the message is in the hint right there.
No, maybe
We'll
that's
see if
too
there-
easy.
Mm.
Too easy. All right. But I used to love, and I still do. My father instilled in us a love for games, puzzles and the like, right? And he would do brain teasers and riddles and stuff with us, and it's something that you cherish. It's good fun, and I guess if you can't be tall, tan, and handsome, at least you can be short and jovial. 949-837, 1-800-534-8255. Those flashing lights are either, air traffic control is giving Cayman Airways approval to land, or that's the phone lines lighting up as Susan goes diligently to try to answer them all. 949-837, 1-800-534-TALK. Let's, in the good spirit of playing along, join this caller. Good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good afternoon, no reindeer.
Yeah? Is that what you answer? Rudolph. When?
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you very much, all right?
It's so nice to hear Mrs. Susan responding to you. Because you talking to her, she never responds.
I used to think it's because she forgot to push the button to talk, right? But I realized that she doesn't. So I don't want people to hear me.
But is she supposed to really be talking back and forth to you?
Well, you be see some of the things she was telling me. She said, "Boy, you should see what's on special today." I just kidding. In that Montgomery Ward catalog.
What are you saying?
No, but thank you. It was a little child that shared it with me, and I thought it was so funny. So in the spirit of being jovial and youthful, I thought it was good. So, but thank you. Anything you want to say to our listeners while we have you on air, as before we go to the caller?
I just want to say, everybody, remember the reason for this season. And there's a lot of crazy driving on the road. A lot of crazy. I'm on the road right now, and I'm in a little traffic. It's not too bad, but let me tell you something. Some crazy driving going on out here.
Wow, yeah.
So I'm going to ask the people to just remember to be mindful that, could be elderly and children, babies in the cars, in the vehicles. You don't know who's in what. So just be mindful while you're driving that you're not the only one on the road who is going somewhere and has to get there a certain time. Just check on the time.
Thank you for reminding us, man. I mean, we really need to just slow and chill, and hopefully we'll get where we're going with a smile. Not just safely, but with a smile. All right.
All right.
Blessings to you. Merry Christmas. All right.
Merry Christmas. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for that caller. It's, when the little child looked up at me and said that, I thought it was funny, man. What do you call a grumpy reindeer? And I was stumped when I was thinking, all kind of names of politicians and all sorts of things, but I'm sorry. Hey, listen, that has to be funny. So it's rude off. A grumpy reindeer is, you call him a rude off. So here's another one. Santa presumably, has a lot going on. And the person I feel for most is Mrs. Claus, So what do you think is the weirdest kind of animal that would be found in Santa's workshop? Assuming he's got his permit and all that in place. But so the weirdest kind of animal you think that would be in Santa's workshop? Now we can talk about it, you can answer it, but hey, why not? They say if you stay young, you'll always forever be grateful. And sometimes to stay young, you have to try to look through life, through the lens of the young. And our children, hopefully, will give them a chance to always be children. Let's go to the phones. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
What's it doing?
Hey, my friend. How are you today, man?
Just chilling out.
Well, I wish, and my prayer always is for you and the family, the greatest gift of all, but this Christmas in particular, a very special blessing to you all, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, man, blessings. Thank you very much, man. Pray for everybody on the island,
Amen, amen, brother, amen.
Mr. Dwayne, tell me something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I went out on the beach yesterday, and I went out there and I see all kind of pipes going out to the water.
Okay.
I want to know where they get, or who give them permission to, you know what I mean? how we go that you can pollute the water like that. You can pay to pollute the water like that. Plus, how in the world $50 million? How in the world? Tell me something. I want to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which part, me, you, everybody else up inside here, and the students, everybody, we work less than a sand green. You can't give us a little blayer to that $30-something thousand or $1 million. Sorry, $1 million. Sorry,
mm-hmm.
$1 million that you're going to spend on some sand. And she, you pretend like we gonna go and work on the sand that going to disappear again.
Sadly, you are not the only person that has called and asked my opinion or shared theirs with me, and I waited heavily. I'm just listening, and some people are saying, "Well, is that money just washing away? When and if it works, will access to the beaches be ensured for all of us?" One lady asked the question, do we now need to look at either A, taking down many of the structures that could be causing the problem, or B, some of the buildings, the condos and hotels and whatever else that are close to the shores, should we spend money to buy them and move them back? I just wondering what other questions that we have.
And I would like to remind myself that you is not the one for these answers, or you is not the one really supposed to be picking up these questions. You understand? You're the one taking the little bunks before them. You understand?
Yeah. But the thing is, right? What I say is, don't be backing water for others, right? But what is? I'm not sure what word to use that would be the best word. A couple have come to mind, right? But it's interesting that we have so many people in this society, men, women, very experienced, very, very highly educated, knowledgeable people who are positioned across public and private sectors, retired, some, really just coming into their own, all sorts of people. And they share similar views. And yet there is this reluctance. Now, I use the word, lack of courage to say some of these things publicly. And as you listen to them, they say, well, boy, my brother or sister or spouse or whomever, good friend works here or there, and I don't want to be seen as antagonistic or, bad-minded or this or that. I'm saying, but if you're saying something that has merit, and if it doesn't, at least if you have a question, if our society is healthy enough for a person to say something, then we really have some serious problems.
Yes, you do.
So,
people don't understand and say, the truth is an offense, but it's not a sin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You might offend a lot of people, but you're not sinning or against anything. You're trying to say what you're supposed to, what supposed to be said.
Yeah.
If you're there, and it's even worse if you know what's true and you keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. As an example, right, it's like the regiment, for instance, right? Even that is almost a bad way to phrase it. The amount of people that have expressed to me, and I confess, I share the views, and part of the views have been informed and influenced by these same people who have shared their views. First it was a military, no, it's a agency for disaster. I didn't do a water purification, and I've asked that because others have asked. Now they've got a 75-gallon little RO plant that probably, someone's got bigger plants at home, right? But what is the purpose of this thing? And is it in the 21st century what we should be looking at? More military, more machinery for war as opposed to peace. Bob Marley said, not until the color of a man's, skin is no more important than the color of his eyes, there will always be war, right? Let's look at building bridges and bringing people together as opposed to putting guns in the hands of people to patrol the streets in camouflage gear, and that itself is inflammatory. It's not a far cry to see checkpoints, between West Bay and Georgetown, movements restricted between East End and North Side. It don't take much, man.
Where that come from, I wonder, because of these wars.
Well, we don't have to worry. If those of us who have friends and family who live in other parts of the world, a friend talked about being in Canada, and okay, I'm not Canadian, don't know a whole lot about it, but similarly, like the US with the states and Cayman with its districts, you can drive from one to the next freely without having to cross over borders like you would in Europe months ago, not long in the past, and you're moving from country to country. But he said, they experience restrictions or movements from one little area to the next, right? And it reminded, he said, his grandfather with him of what it was like in the war in Europe. And they weren't asking for anything other than your ID and your vaccination card and all this stuff. This is a small space. You imagine what will happen in short order if that sort of behavior goes unchecked and unchallenged.
Right. And you're looking at the start of it now. When you're here now, you got paid to get tested.
Why? The world is an interesting place. We're being divided. That's why I'm looking, to the readings that we share.
All these things I done told you, say they gotta be ready to make millions off of getting tested and getting vaccinated, and you gonna have to have a passport to travel. Like, you understand? So again, to these people that they calling in, these elderly people, I say I won't remind them voters how you vote for the politicians, and all them supporters are the ones that cut out the health care for the child up to the 18. Just that alone, you stop us from trying to succeed in develop ourselves on the island. Just that alone, and then they cast away and they don't say nothing about it. Like they feel proud about it, because you know why they feel proud about it? Because all the other people from all the other countries, especially Jamaicans, are taking advantage of that. And when they find out that when the hospital were hurting them, or they were able to sue them, you understand, and get money for it, to make sure that they make it so high for you to go sue something. You understand? Like say you get say somebody chop your toe off up inside there for nothing, and you won't go and try to get your something how much your toe. You can't even afford nothing to say, oh, this was an accident. You can't say nothing to do that.
Yeah, it's about as you shared, the whole idea of accountability and responsibility. But thank you for sharing it. And I like to talk, but sometimes I forget that there are schedule breaks that I always seem to never pay sufficient attention to. My friend, talk to you soon. All right. Blessings, man. Merry Christmas. All right, let's pause, and when we come back, if you want to share, it doesn't matter. It's compliment or complete. You want to ask and answer that question about what is the wettest animal that you would find in Santa's workshop. You'd be surprised, again, from the mouths of babes. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Study local and go far this spring. Want to start your bachelor's or associate degree, or just need a few classes to complete? Registration is now open for spring classes at UCCI. Scholarships are available for the spring semester, but you need to act now to meet the deadlines. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky to enroll now. Classes begin January 10th. Enroll by December 1st for a chance to win an iPad or a laptop.
20 years.
Remember when Crew Road had no median and Linford Pearson was only 2 lanes?
We do.
When Dirty Reeds was down the street?
We do.
We have been there for the falls, the growth, and the rise. When your body and mind needed to change, Powerhouse Gym has been here. We've skated with you. Your first date, your daughter's first time on skates, your son's first strike. From football to squash, to karate and hockey, to bowling and concerts, and everything in between.
For 20 years,
so much has changed, some for the good and some not so much. Through it all, King Sports Center has been here for you, for Cayman.
King Sports Center, celebrating 20 years as Cayman's home for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Savannah Pharmacy. Shop local and get a head start on your Christmas shopping. For ladies' handbags, clothes, shoes, fragrance, candles, and cosmetics with the newest Farmhouse Fresh line of skincare. For the gentlemen, clothes, shoes, fragrances, gift sets, and toys and games for the kids. Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs. And convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045. Christmas is in the air as Radio Cayman broadcasts the Jolly Christmas Cheer from the 2021 Coca-Cola Christmas Truck Parade, Monday, December 20th from 5 to 9 p.m. Taste the feeling, Cayman Islands, as we parade with Coca-Cola from West Bay to South Sound. Check out Radio Cayman's Facebook page for the full route. Come out to meet Santa and his elves, toys for the kids, Coca-Cola giveaways, and music for all, Monday, December 20th.
The technology sector is forecast to be one of the fastest growing industries in the next decade, with more jobs available than skilled people to fill them. Enterprise Cayman is helping to fill this void and grow the next generation of Caymanian innovators, giving young people access to high quality learning experiences with the opportunity to pursue careers in technology and innovation sectors. Learn to code, how product development works, enter professional competitions, access high tech resources, network with special economic zone industry professionals, and much, much more. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to find out more. Brought to you by Cayman Enterprise City.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. Appreciate a couple of WhatsApp messages from a few of you so far. It's interesting to know where we are, and all the little things that we find joy, at least we seek and attempt to do so. For many, this particular time of year is just an increased expense, a lot more stress for others. It's a good excuse to just kick back and do a whole lot of what they were doing all year round. Nothing. And that's good. Maybe the little Christmas breeze that will blow in will allow us to at least appreciate. We are probably mindful that we still live on an island, despite not being able sometimes to see the sea when we're driving, or even hear the waves breaking on the shores. Now, in everything, what they say, one man's meat is another man's poison. Treasure for some, but junk for others. It's perspective. And what do we do with what we have? How do we share? How do we find joy? For others, it's just the fact that they were able to open their eyes. And for some, no matter what they have, this is never enough. It's that empty void that they're desperately trying to fill. Well, for others, it's not difficult to find that. And yet, it's staring so many of us in the face that we never appreciate what we have. The true wealth of being surrounded by people who not only make us feel loved and wanted, but who need and want us in their lives. And as we reflect on that, perhaps we can, coming off of last year, sit back and relax and not take so much for granted. And in saying that, and not trying to be insensitive to other people's state of mind, their sense of perhaps great and growing fear that we may have because of the unknown to come, the unexpected that is before us, the seemingly challenges that may lie ahead, the confusion and conflict that may sometimes, be communicated to us by seemingly those in authority. Let's go to the phones. Hey, good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling.
Dear sir, it's day number one, you kick, sir.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you, sir. How are you?
Not too good, but I'm still trying to carry on.
Well, you never give up here. Never lose faith. You always press on and persevere, all right?
Yes, sir, I do. It's a good thing I does that. I've been going long time.
Well, that's part of, what makes us who we are, that desire to live and to be an example and to persevere.
Yeah. Well, I just called to wish all of you and really came on a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, and to you as well, you know.
That goes to all the staff or everyone.
You know, we listening to you, I'm quickly reminded of how important it is to give thanks and to show gratitude and to remember what's important.
Yes, sir. I listen to you many times, but I don't work hard.
I understand, man. You know, if you don't mind me being serious for 1 second, I would almost say on a daily basis, no, you run across my thoughts. I don't think that I do what I should and what I've been told that I should do, and that's pray for you, but positively think of you almost on a daily basis now.
Thank you, sir, but I don't hear where you're doing anything you shouldn't do.
Well, then don't talk too closely to my friends, because they might tell you the truth.
Well, if you don't want to hear the truth from me, you listen to your friends then.
No, that's something that I value more than else. I don't like dishonesty. I find it hard to, you know, I guess sometimes we are, and because we think it's the best thing, but, you know, when we're in a position of authority and power, to lie openly, sometimes to lie unknowingly and then never correct it when we find out, that abuse of power and authority, man, that's egregious. It really is.
Yeah, it is. And I just had to get out today because I haven't been feeling too good lately. I'm up in hospital Saturday, so.
Oh, okay.
I just said, well, let me call in case I don't get the call the rest of the year, so.
All right. Well, I hope and pray, you know, that each day brings improvement and you find increasing joy. And I appreciate you making the effort to call and to wish all of us.
Yes, sir. All you do a good job there.
Thank you, sir. We try sometimes, you know. We try.
I don't care who all said that I'm wrong. I'm just telling you how I feel.
It's your opinion, man. You know.
Right. I say all of you do a good job here.
Well, I share that with you, and that's kind of why it helps me to raise the bar, because as I look at, you know, I came here last evening just to double check something after I found out that, you know, my guest could be a little bit different today, and like so many of our team, Joel Wilson was here. It's amazing to see that level of dedication, whether it's a Friday night, a Saturday night, or a Sunday night, that we see, and it inspires me. You know, I think I have a strong work ethic that was instilled by my parents, but when I see my contemporaries and my colleagues doing the same thing, I realize that it's all of us. That's just the norm. That's how we work.
Yes, sir. And I think you do a good job on this talk show. Tough luck who don't like it.
Well, you know, from your lips to God's ears, huh? Let no man try to smite me, for what the Almighty has in store shall be mine.
Well, I don't think they're going to replace you for a long time.
Well, I'm planning to live to 150 at least, you know, so we'll see.
Well, if you live to 150, try pass on 25 more years of it.
Amen. I would love that, man. I would love that.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I just say I would call and make all you, tell all you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because some days I'm not here, some days I'm in a hospital, or I got to be up there waiting to see the doctor and different things. By the time I get home, you're sure gone.
Yeah. Well, you take it in stride, man, and you keep holding your head high, and you never give up, all right?
Yes, sir, and all of you don't give up on the good work either.
Right. We won't, man, we won't.
All right, thank you, sir.
God bless.
Merry Christmas, Radio Cayman, all your staff.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too, sir.
All right, sir. Bye.
Bye. You know, that caller, like so many, I just listen to the voice. Hear the words, but listen to the voice and you understand the appreciation of what life is. No matter where you are right now, even me, you know, there are days you might find that even me, I might have a bad day, you know. But it's never a bad day if you're here, because where there's life, there's hope. And where there's hope and you have hopeful expectation, well, life can be even better. Let's pause, be pensive, and reflect on what it means to us. And when we come back, give us a call, man. Share with us that thing that grieves you. Share with us that thing that motivates and intrigues you. Share with us that thing of which you most desire. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Merry Christmas from A.L. Thompson's. Go electric this year with electronic gifts that are fun for the whole family. Add accessories to a massive 4K HD TV like a Fire Stick, a soundbar, and wireless headphones. Up your game with Xbox console bundles. Think security with a Ring video doorbell and a time-lapse video camera. Then take the fun outside with drones and speakers. It's all fun, and nobody does Christmas like A.L. Thompson's.
For the record. For information that matters to you, the people. Hear from the government, the opposition, independents, and other experts on issues and solutions that affect you. For the record. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, tune into 89.9 and 93.9 FM for Cayman's Straight Talk Morning Show. For the record.
I invite you to join me for the record. You are invited to be a part of this interesting and informative show. Embrace the opportunity to dialogue with your legislators, policymakers, and those charged with policy implementation.
For the record.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors.
Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
The community is reminded to ensure the proper disposal of used LFT kits. Place the used LFT and all items into the marked bag with the biohazard yellow triangle symbol provided with the kit, and then discard in the garbage bin. For more information on waste disposal tips, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky or their Facebook page or call 949-6696.
This is how we wake you up in the morning.
Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I'm gonna walk them golden stairs, 'cause I know my Jesus answers all my prayers.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, for the God of the mountain is still God in the valley.
Shout with joy to God, all the earth sing glory to His name.
Praise time. Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Brand Source is helping you get a load off this Christmas with 10% off all washers and dryers. Choose from top loaders, front loaders, compact laundry, laundry centers, and wash towers, all at 10% off. Shop the best in laundry appliances from Samsung, General Electric, LG, and commercial brands like Encore and Crossover. Save 10% now until December 24th on all washers and dryers. Only at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call Brand Source at 623-5000.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. And thanks for sharing with us as we go straight to the phones. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling.
Hey, good afternoon, sir. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, all the very best, blessed, peaceful one.
Thank you, sir.
To all Suzanne and all the staff there, wonderful staff. Thank you, God. I'd just like to say, the riddle that you gave, I don't know if anyone answered it.
Not yet.
I think I have the answer. I was wondering if it might have been Jack Frost, but I don't know if he's a worker here in Sandra's workshop. Anyway, yes.
But does it work if they're having fun?
Yes, well, I have fun there because they're doing what's supposed to make everybody happy.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose. They talk early on about, all the different things and the different in Christmases then and now and so forth. It is hard for us, people, Caymanians my age, to accept the complete radical change in Cayman in the last 40 years, I would say. But it started from about 60 years ago, but it's really the last 50 to 40 years, a radical change in especially 35 years and so. There is a complete change. The majority does not lie, like all the other islands, in the hands of the majority of the population, not in a generational people. So it's a very difficult concept to understand. You have to realize what we did, what we were doing just 40, 50 years ago and less. The turtling, some it was still there coming in and so forth, and we're looking for whelks and conchs we did, and then fishing and shark, whatever. It's all different now. We were told by foreign people, let's not get away from that, that's no longer acceptable. So we have to tone everything down. We have to maybe eventually have seen movement on people to ban us from eating turtle meat. So we as a people of force feeders gave up. We didn't bother to put up a fight. Jim Borden did with the issue. I won't go into that at all because that will stick in my craw forever. That issue with this CITES convention bit and all that. Forever. But that's when I saw the Cayman going, the Cayman as we know Cayman. And the dominant culture here now, I'm going to say this without any fear at all. The dominant culture here is the Jamaican culture. And anyone who can't see this, I don't know, maybe they better take off those blinders that they put on horses, the race horses, and even dogs too. You got to take them off. Because we start every kind of a function, it starts out with Jamaican music, not Cayman music. Even government functions, I noticed that. And that tells you something. It certainly tells you something. We talk about 120 different, 30 different cultures, and we talk about blend things, and then we get up and we keep saying we have to preserve our culture, preserve it. How can you preserve it that way? You can't.
So let me ask.
And you won't.
Yeah.
And you won't.
Yeah. If I may ask of you, because I think, unfortunately, sometimes we are afraid or unwilling or just unsure how to have discussions about certain things that we feel probably sensitive, whether they are or not. So if the dominant culture in Cayman is something other than what is, Caymanian and reflective of our history, ancestry, or culture, heritage, or history, and the like, how do we address that? What do we do about that?
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And I've been castigated for saying it, but I stand by that. It's just the same as when I stood by what I said, that the mandatory health insurance, mandatory pensions and everything should be paid to the government as a tax. I've never agreed with it and will never agree with that system. Paying it to private people to control it. It should be paid as a tax to the government, anything mandatory. Those are the things that I've stuck by, and I stick by this. The only way you'll be able to preserve it, our culture, is to take out a piece of the, I guess National Trust has, I think it's over 3,800 acres of land or something like that. Preservation of endangered things and so forth, so on. But the most endangered species we have is the Caymanian, generational Caymanian. As we see, as Mr. George, my friend, was talking about, with getting water from the drums and barrels. I remember all that up at my grandmother's up in Pedro there. No electricity, no running water, no cistern. Had a little well and catching the water from the roofs and all. And I remember that so very, very vividly. What I do remember, she used to have meat all the while, but it, of course, was near to the Wattlers, who are the cattle people, and then many of them were family to us, the Edens. And so my mother used to always have beef many times, and I remember that very well. Stella Borden cooking it in the ground and all that, how they're talking about it the other day in the pot. I'm no chef at all, but I remember that much. And that's how they kept that meat, that it wouldn't spoil for days and days and days. I remember that. The meat. It wasn't split up into fiber. It was just big chunks like. Anyhow, I was saying that if we took about 10 or 15 acres, or maybe more, for each district, the primary district. I'm not talking about 19 political districts.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking about the electoral district. Just take 20, 30 acres of land. And on that, it would be generational. It's easy to find generational Caymanians, easy to prove. The families, and they would do their things on it, like the village thing, like Miss Mary Lawrence has on there, but in a much bigger scope. And you're doing Caymanian things. That's the only way you can preserve that unique culture. We could have maybe a few of the turtles swimming around, because they live in fresh water too. Could have some hickeys. You could do some boat buildings to Ken Jackson and others that are around, that know about that type of carpentry and things like that. We could get boat building. We could have the thatching, and that can sell to tourists and people. Just like how you see those Indian reservations in the United States. We like to curse the United States all the while, but I did that from a long time ago. And they're granted special privileges. The Red Indians, they get special tax breaks. Those indigenous citizens here, they get what special. There are certain places where only an Indian tribe can catch salmon, and that's been in place from 90 years ago, where it's filled with salmon on those rivers and lakes. Only they can do it, and it's a serious thing if you try to go there and break that rule.
Right. Well, Mr. McGee, I think, like so much, if you wish, sir, just going to pause for the news break. If you wish to hold on, let us know, and let Susan know. But let's pause, and when we come back, more talk today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
An annual tradition is back as the Cayman National Cultural Foundation reenacts Cayman Christmas traditions tomorrow. Each Christmas, they prepare Miss Lassie's house in South Sound for the holidays. Volunteers and CNCF staff will mix white lime to dress the house in a fresh coat for the holidays, back sand in traditional Caymanian thatch baskets, and of course, tidy the yard. In international headlines, a prosecutor told jurors today the suburban Minneapolis police officer who says she meant to use her taser instead of her gun when she shot and killed black motorist Dante Wright made a blunder of epic proportions and did not have a license to kill. Prosecutor Aaron Eldridge said during closing arguments in Kim Potter's manslaughter trial that Wright's death was entirely preventable. She drew a deadly weapon, Eldridge tells the court, aimed it, pointed it at Dante Wright's chest, and she fired. Potter's attorney Earl Gray, though, argued that Wright, quote, caused the whole incident because he tried to flee from police during a traffic stop. Britain's main nurses union warned today that exhaustion and surging coronavirus cases among medical staff are pushing them to the breaking point, adding to pressure on the government for new restrictions to curb record numbers of infections driven by the Omicron variant. The warning throws into stark relief the unpalatable choice Prime Minister Boris Johnson faces: wreck holiday plans for millions for a second year running, or face a potential tidal wave of cases and disruptions. Many governments in Europe and the U.S. are confronting similar dilemmas over how to come down in the face of Omicron, which scientists say spreads more easily than other coronavirus strains, including Delta, which itself led to surges in many parts of the world. Early evidence suggests Omicron may produce less serious illness, though experts caution it is too soon to say and that it could better evade vaccine protection. Those are your headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And thanks to Mr. Nweke for always sharing with us, his insight, his incredible wisdom and experience and expertise. Mr. Wisdom, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm back here again.
Thank you. No, understandable, sir. Understandable.
What I'm saying is this, and I'll get back just quickly to income tax thing, the taxation thing, like a salary tax, which is what it is. It will be much, much less than what they're paying now to the health insurance companies. You take it overall, it can be done. It's done in 90% of the countries in Europe, in Canada, and so forth. A small income tax paid, and your medicals you're fully covered. And you go there, everything is free, and you can have voluntarily buy insurance. The same with pensions, but you have a national pension scheme, Canada pension, an old age pension, so forth in Canada, and you get a lot of benefits. They're paid money. Every family gets a check for children and so forth, and a check for from the government for medicine you buy over the counter and all that. I know what I'm saying. It's a fact. In Europe, it's all free health care, nationalized health care. So it's much, much cheaper than what they're paying here for health insurance. I know that's the biggest gripe I hear from every worker. That is a major gripe. I won't go any further with that, endangering myself. What I said about the idea of like reservations, there's plenty of land in all the big districts, east and north side, so forth. And you do that in every district. And there's a sameness, of course, about all the things, but there's a little difference in each district. But it would be Caymanian. This is what I'm trying to say. If we're ever going to preserve our culture, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the other cultures here, or the predominant one, as I said, which seems to be the thing now, the Jamaican culture. But we are Caymanians.
Right.
Caymanians, and we're saying we're trying to preserve our culture. What are we really saying? Are we trying to mix it up, juggle it around 140 cultures, and come out of the mix, see what we come out with? No. I don't think that will work at all. It can't work. It'll always be us against them kind of thing. And this way, as I said, we can assimilate, but we have our identity preserved right there in those special districts. Everyone doesn't have to be living on it. We can go there and visit it, and we know people who would like to do that and be there doing that, and those they'd be able to live there too, because it would be enough space and so forth. It sounds like a far-fetched idea, but if you think about it, it can work. It can work if we put our minds straight. It can work, and we can take the funds from something we're spending on now and get that going. The other thing I just like to say, the one thing I disagree with you about, Sterling, and I always will, is that regiment.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad for it. I wish it would be mandatory.
We can disagree on that one, sir.
That they go around and pick up all these boys on the road who are idle and bumming and begging, and men who can easily be working.
Yeah.
Half my age, some of them are. And they don't need to be doing that. Get out here, get in the regiment, get some discipline, and yes, you have to be trained in the use of arms or you'll be useless as a regiment when the time comes. We do not know, with all this money in our country, there's lots of trillions of dollars back here. We do not know, it seems far-fetched again, but it's not an idea that might not, or not an idea. I hope it won't come to this. But we do not know with the spread of terrorism, and we see the money here. We have to be on the alert, have to be prepared, have some kind of resistance to it. And even with the ships flying our flag, we never know when there might be pirates taking them over or something, and we have to do something to assist in getting it under control. No, I think we need that regiment. We had one many, many, many moons ago, but we can have another one now, right? And we can be well trained, and in most of the time, it's peacetime anyhow. But you must remember one thing. Peace never came without bloodshed. Never, ever did. You won't have it. Even in Bible days, it didn't. And now we see. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful
And to you,
Christmas.
sir. And to you.
All of you, and thank you so very much for giving me the time to expound on this. I know I'll be lambasted and criticized, but I stand by what I just
Yes,
said.
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, and always thank you for sharing your opinion. As you go to the next caller, welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sterling, and Merry Christmas.
Good afternoon. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, I must agree with the last caller. Our ancestry is really slipping away.
Mm.
And if you look around, you can actually identify where it is. Say, for example, you must live in the present. You really don't want to go back to the days when there were no electricity, etc. But that doesn't mean we must just throw our culture aside.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we used to have garden parties. Everybody used to enjoy that. You don't even have that again. That is one thing that has slipped away. And believe it or not, and you might know, we had a tradition, and we used to have our funerals on Sundays. Everybody wanted to be buried on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Now, all you can hear is that because the preachers have service in the morning, like they're so tired, the part about it is some churches don't even have the evening service. In those days, the people had morning and evening service, and they were, busy through the week. So that is another thing. I'm not saying that you got to have funerals for everybody on the Sunday, but I guess those that requested wanted, because I guess they grew up with something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're no longer about service to country or service to society. It's all about selfishness, huh?
Yeah, it is something. And when there's always the same ones that speak out, and then you'll hear, oh, it's against Sterling, or it's against Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the point. People will whisper and talk about it, but they don't do one thing about it to help.
Yeah.
Take, for example, when the 4 women were fighting the Westbury Road, they called us crazy. They called us some of everything.
Nothing good.
Now those same people are talking. We can't see the sea. When there's an accident, how the traffic backs up and all like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was against the new bypass. We were pointing out what could happen.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it now, right, you got one tunnel with a restricted height that moves you back and forth between West Bay and Georgetown. We've now putting up a huge structure that can sell for tens of millions of dollars with another, overpass or bridge on West Bay Road that is going to further, limit movement. We already got a couple of those overpass already. We're putting another one in. It's going to be interesting to see what happens down the road,
Well, Sterling, what will be interesting? I don't know whether they want to call me crazy or what they want to think it is.
Mm.
When they made that amendment to the registered land law about the volumetric parcels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, look at the registered land law carefully. And I guess they'll be listening and hurry and try to amend that too. The registered land law talks about parcels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have parcel land, you can build 10-story building on it you want. But it certainly does not use any words in that effect for volumetric parcels. Read it carefully. They rush these things and they never think properly about it.
But I think too many times, and it could be that it's truly meant, in the best way and with good intentions, and I'm not going to right now try to casket anybody, but like you said, are we looking for something to benefit everybody in the best way possible, or is it, as many have alleged, this is because of that incentive that is given, and we use things like under the table or kickbacks or bribes, or we say all these things. Whether that's the case or not, it's the unfortunate perception, but sometimes it's just done in haste without proper thought. So
all for the love of money.
Well, was it the Latin radix malorum escupiditas? The love of money is the root of all evil.
But Sterling, take for example Christmas morning. You remember as a child, I remember when we used to hear the men come in singing. Even if our parents didn't let us outside, we were all by the windows watching and enjoying it. What they got the children doing now, they're on their iPads and whatnot. They haven't got to enjoy, our young children, they haven't got to enjoy or see anything like that. And still that doesn't take away from them their iPad and whatnot, because we are still in a modern, let's say we're a modern society.
Right. But even if we missed the international news and we just only heard what was the headlines at 2, We're talking about in democracies, whether it's the UK or the US, according to just our 2 p.m. headline news, their political leadership now grappling with similar decisions as to whether or not they should cancel Christmas because what seemingly could be a very contagious, although maybe, scientists maybe saying a little too early to tell, not as deadly, but, so we're going to cancel Christmas. We're going to make it much more difficult for people to socialize. Other threats of safety. What will that do for our children's psyche? How will that affect them psychologically? We always complain about them staying inside on their devices, but now we tell them they can't go outside and play because they're at risk. And we want everybody to be safe in the safest way, from the barking dog that might bite to the speeding car that is driven by that irresponsible driver to anything. But really, what are we doing, and what will be the consequence for the next generation?
Right, and the caller was quite right when he said that this might not be the exact words, but I guess it's close to it. We haven't had the gumption really to stand up and say, this is what we want preserved, this is how it is. And you can enjoy your culture, but you shouldn't be trampling on ours to try to map it out, because that is really the true position.
Well, it is like so much. We are not, for whatever reason, sufficiently informed. We're not sufficiently courageous enough. Take again the news, unfortunately, seemingly because we're probably more connected to, maybe it's more accessible for whatever reason. We look at the U.S. news, but our headline news, we're talking about the case with the U.S. police officer, making, according to the prosecutor, a really, really unfortunate error, pulling a gun versus a taser. Now, we are going to tag both our, law enforcement agencies with the same thing. What would happen, God forbid, if that similar error was made genuinely? You pull the taser versus the gun can create death, but if you pull the gun versus the taser and it does create death, do we even have either one? It's a serious problem, man. We're not paying attention at all.
Thing before we go, we say we're an affluent society. It's a shame that we don't now have a proper television station. You mean a country like this? But
do we have a proper radio, a proper newspaper, proper media in terms of regulation?
Yeah, I mean, if you look around and really look at it, let's put it like this: we have lost it. I guess that's the best way that I can put it.
Well, it is for us then, when the loss mounts, that we do nothing, and if our children cry because our actions are in vain, Anyway,
I'll leave you with that, but that's my 2 bits for today.
Well, they added your 2 bits to mine, and we might get a pound. Hey, thanks very much, huh?
Might get more than a pound. Might get a pound and a half.
Well, there you go. There you go. Thanks, huh?
Okay, bye-bye.
Right, blessings. What's that, Miss Susan? Final break, and then we'll take some more calls. Good afternoon.
We may be in Christmas shopping mode, but 'tis the flu season too. Savannah Pharmacy has immune system boosters for the entire family with a range of vitamins and supplements. Their knowledgeable and courteous pharmacists are always available to offer the best advice and products. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045. Shop at Funky Tanks, the home of electronics and more. Make sure to check out Funky Tanks' 2 locations, Shedden Road and Countryside, Savannah, for loads of fireworks for your Christmas and New Year's celebrations. Also, new stock has just arrived. Funky Tanks, both locations, open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., December 20th to December 23rd. And on Christmas Eve, open 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., December 29th and 30th. New Year's Eve, open 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Funky Tanks. For more information, call 949-0998. Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year from the management and staff of Funky Tanks.
FedEx Delivery. Share this season with everyone by shipping your rum cakes and gifts with 30% off and get an additional 20% on your next shipment. Visit us. Restrictions apply.
Kirk Freeport's $40,000 Christmas sweepstakes is back. Once again, simply spend $100 at your favorite Kirk Freeport store, and you could win one of 3 $5,000 cash prizes, one of 5 $1,000 cash prizes, and many other great prizes throughout December. All purchases of $100 before noon on Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. And don't forget the annual Kirk Freeport Rolex watch prize draw for all entries, held on January 4th. Full details on KirkFreeport.com. Merry Christmas from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
The community is reminded to ensure the proper disposal of used LFT kits. Place the used LFT and all items into the marked bag with the biohazard yellow triangle symbol provided with the kit, and then discard in the garbage bin. For more information on waste disposal tips, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky or their Facebook page or call 949-6696.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for calling as we go straight to the phones. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hello?
Hey, welcome back, man. Welcome back.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that one.
All right, man. Thanks for taking this time. But what's up?
Yeah, I listening and I just had to call back, man.
Yeah, man.
So I what if I now know how to join the regiment, or if I begging on the road and I do nothing, I what list. I just trying to understand that. You know, I want to ask them the dominant culture, the Jamaican, so they say. So tell me something. My great grandparents came from Jamaica, so I gonna deny my back culture. Their culture was farming and trying to live off the land and treat people nice and things. I gonna deny my culture. What they determine? I want to know what they determine is the dominant culture Jamaican here. They talking about dance hall and soca music. What they talking about? That's all.
All right, man.
Thank
you. We let it hang. Thanks, man. Let's take this at the call. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Sterling Dwayne. How are you today?
Well, listen. I am blessed, thankful, healthy, happy, and I'm looking, with a growing thirst and hunger for life to give as I get.
That's great.
How are you, man? How are you?
The last time I'm here?
Boy. You're only your friends now. Only your friend. That's okay, though. I grew a beard.
All right, there you go. Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, man. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Always good to hear your voice on the radio.
Appreciate it. So what is that thing? You can answer it now, and you can answer it later if it changes. What is that thing you pray for most for Christmas and this time of year?
Health and knowledge.
Health and knowledge. Yeah.
Yep. Which comes wisdom.
Yeah, man.
I too like to you would say help people and contribute to society, because I have seen so many people that you would say are in need of, and I mean, no one can do everything, but it can sure help, and I trust that other people will look at others and not look at them as being below us, but look at them and say, hey, look, that's my fellow brother, that's my fellow sister,
Yeah, man.
Give a helping hand.
It's sometimes easier maybe to find and the bad to criticize, to be angry, even when we don't want to be. And it's probably a challenge if you look globally, because for some reason, somehow we are seemingly believing that whatever is transpiring in Cayman is only in Cayman. But whether you're in England or whether you're in other parts of Europe, people are concerned. You want to see even complaining about losing their identity, the influx of others into their country and changing the social landscape and even the political system and the legal implications of all that. But are we not all very, very much the same? I mean, most of us, blood runs through our veins, I would believe. Salt water may be in somewhere else as well, but we're pretty much the same on a basic level.
You're sure salt water there runs through it or alcohol?
Well, it depends what part of West Bay you're from, whatever day of the week it is. But reminds me of a fella say, he was he got called from the blood bank the other day. Right. He had to start giving blood because apparently last time he gave it, a number of people died from alcohol poisoning. I'm just kidding, that's not true. That's not true at all.
Well, some people have more alcohol than they have blood.
Yeah, man. But it's that love for life. It's the attempt at human laughter, and we don't do enough of that,
Oh no, a lot of us don't.
Yeah, man.
But I always try to be humorous. I mean, some people take it the wrong way, but it's like my slogan: rough, regular, poor, sober, and ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. But I think that's a challenge. I mean, as I listen to you, I think that's a challenge, is that many of us have much and don't even realize, that we have little. And some of us think that we don't have anything and realize that we have it all. And it's weird, man. And those who have curly hair want straight hair. Those who are tall want to be short.
Yeah.
You never seem to be content. And then when we find somebody who seems to be, very content, very comfortable in their skin.
Yeah.
We castigate him.
Yeah.
I thank my father every day. He's a man of great humility, a great civility. He has a calmness. But I believe if you push him too hard, he will punch back. Not just literally. You know what I mean?
Well, there are two songs that come to mind with that.
Mm-hmm.
Here on Tippin', You Gotta Stand for Something or You Fall for Anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Alan Jackson, The Older I Get.
Mm-hmm.
So the older you get, it teaches you to be more mellow, so to speak.
Yeah, but there's another song too. It says some fools never learn. You play the fire, you're gonna get burned. Yeah, it's only love if it's love in return, right?
Yes, that is true.
So if you don't give love, how do you get love? And when you are the recipient of love, are you able to give it back?
And the thing is, what I have found over the years, the more you would say, indulge in love, the happier you will be as well.
Yeah, man. See, love thyself,
For sure. Yes.
But you talk about knowledge and you talk about wisdom, and maybe experience can teach us a lot. But how many of us are willing to learn? Take for instance, right? I do it, and I don't do it out of anything than just good fun. But I'm sure they get enough with the politicians. We beat up on them. We say all kind of bad things about them, but they're people, and they're probably not as thick-skinned as they should be or as they wish they were, because they're getting it from all of us all the time, right?
Yeah.
I remember Jay Leno when he took over from Johnny Carson, and the little monologue that he would do. Now the other talk, whatever they call these nights on the American television, I really don't have time for it anymore. But you could see in Johnny Carson and Jay Leno, there was no vitriol, there was no animosity, there was no hate. Even though he was poking fun at the U.S. presidents or any of the public figures, it could be a false impression on my part, but I came away thinking this was just done in good jest. There was no malice, all right?
Right.
And Johnny Carson would say things sometimes, and he would stop short of what he was going to say, and his body language told you the rest of it, right? And then years later, he would interview these same people, and they would remember that thing that he poked fun at, and they would laugh, and there didn't seem to be any malice. Now, were they good at acting, or was it that they took it in jest? It it means nothing, right? So one or two of my friends, yeah, man,
it could have been genuine.
yeah, and we don't see there's a difference between trying to make light of a situation and trying to humiliate other people. And
the thing also, it takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown.
Well, boy, for some of us, we better smile too much because our face will probably crack. Sorry.
Well, I need to go to the hospital to have my surgically removed because I'm smiling all the time.
Yeah, but then the thing is, right, you probably, like many of us who smile, there probably someone close to us who would say, look at that green teeth fool, eh? They see us and don't realize that smile sometimes is genuine, but sometimes it's, you know what, we call those things that aren't as if they were. We're trying to be happy, to feel what we know we should inside, despite what's going on outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
so true.
You know, I come in to work, I try to bring as much positivity to work. If I go into my house, if I go anywhere, because it's easy to carry a lot of baggage and a lot of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So true.
So let's carry some positivity. And
yep.
Anyway, as we wax and wane, my friend, the moon may not be in retrograde, but love is in the air.
Love is in the air.
All right, man.
All the best for Christmas to all at Radio Cayman.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Especially Susan, you know.
Especially her, eh?
Especially Susan.
Oh, I tell you, she got put up with me all year, so she needs it. Huh? Is that what you're saying? All right.
Okay, yeah, I'll take care.
Blessings, man. Talk to you tomorrow, God's willing. All right.
Yeah.
Listen, as you're out and about, to the caller who reminded us, please, you know, I say this and it seems that they fall on deaf ears or it somehow goes in reverse, but I want to say it with love. Let's be individually responsible. Let's try to be as civil as we can and considerate on the roads, whether it's the iguana crossing or it's a pregnant, expectant mother. Doesn't matter who. If we are the only person in the car, let's think about us and drive safely and as sensibly as we can. Better to arrive, you know, a little bit late than not at all. And if you get there and you're late and the person say, "Oh, you're late," you say, "Well, would you like if I wasn't here at all?" You know. So be considerate. I know we stress, we feel challenged and struggle and all sorts of trials and tribulations, but you know, it's not even because the police are out in patrol and we get a ticket for this. It's not even about them. It's about us being civil and considerate, careful and cautious, and just drive, you know, so that you enjoy it. Remember way back when we would take a Sunday afternoon drive? Sometimes it was a Saturday, sometimes it was other times. When Mr. Bobo would run the bus, boy, and he would allow us to get on, sometimes not even for nothing at all, but $1, and you could ride that bus all night long up in the back. And you just had one rule, you be respectful. And we all were. And you sit in that big old seat in the back now and enjoy it. It's probably the same in all the districts. Let's appreciate what's before us. Let's be mindful that there are many who wish they had what we had, even though we don't think we got anything. And when we give, let's give from the heart, and let's be grateful for what we do have. And I say this not to offend anybody, but don't take for granted what we have, and don't let people take away the freedoms that we have. Nobody's asking anybody not to do anything other than to be absolutely safe in their health, to ensure their happiness and civility, their presence of mind and the like. But where we are didn't come, as the caller earlier reminded us, with a huge price. You know, we celebrate every year in November, you know, our veterans. As a small country, many of us know all too well that sacrifice that was made by our fathers and grandfathers and mostly the men who went on the front lines, the real front lines where their lives were lost. But even now, who are still serving. Some will have family that we haven't seen and will probably never see for a very long time because they're stationed in some places where they won't be home for Christmas. Never have been for a long time, mightn't ever again. Just never know. But they believe they're being deployed to ensure that there's a democracy, there's a safety, and there's the ability to criticize from the highest elected or appointed office to the lowest. To be able to have that voice and reason. And let's not take that for granted. Well, as we go about the day, let's enjoy it and let's bring joy to others around us. I don't have a request for Miss Susan today, but I know whatever song she plays is going to be played with love. There's a couple of good Christmas songs that I like, and anything by Alabama Christmas, that's even better. And as we go about today, let's look expectantly for the joys of tomorrow, but let's give thanks for now. You cannot have honor without humility. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Is where tradition never dies. This is your radio.